Of the four classical elements, earth, water, air, and fire, water is the one that acts upon the daily life of Africans with the most determination. Its absence or its excess, its necessity as an ancestral bearer of life and death, places it in the origin of almost all conflicts and in the epicenter of daily life. Like on no other continent, water in Africa is the object of devotion, search, and survival.
Living on the water is easy, just like on terra firma. If I find what to eat there, I can live there. And if I find what to eat here, I'll be happy here.
Julieta Kuku is 45 years old. She has 4 children and a dozen grandchildren. She works at the floating market of Ganvier, where every morning from her canoe she sells vegetables, soap, medicinal plants, fabrics, and other products that she buys on terra firma. Her children are fishermen, and her husband, Benoit Kuku, is one of the 11 principal senior advisors of the Dauphiné, the ethnic group that he belongs to. The town of Ganvier stands on stilts over the Nokoué, near the city of Cotonou in Benin. It has more than 20,000 inhabitants who live in perfect harmony with the whims of the water. In Ganvier, everything occurs around the water.
The fires are very dangerous. Although we have water everywhere, they spread fast among our roofs and the wood constructions. It is very difficult for the firemen to reach here. These constructions can't handle the floods caused by the rains. But the greatest danger of living on the water is the diseases that it hides. There is also life in the water. The fish that feed us are hidden there. Every morning we plant the branches of our acacia in the lake. The fish like to live among the leaves of this tree. We have to wait a few months in order to collect this plantation. The leaf dries out and becomes food for the fish. Then we arrive and the fish become our nourishment.
While the men of the family try to fish, Juliette travels around town, going from home to home, offering the different products that her business provides. She acquires them on terra firma, and she sells them on the lake.
There is only one market a week, and when our husbands go fishing, many women don't have a way to move around and buy goods, and that's how this business occurred to me. I sell rice, tomatoes, pepper, and everything women need for cooking. I like to be able to work and talk with my neighbors at the same time. I would not be able to do this job on terra firma. My body moves better on the canoe than on land.
Ganvier is currently suffering serious problems in order to survive. To protect Cotonou from the floods, the French government, during colonial times, cut the tongue of the lake, which separates the lake from terra firma. Since then, and as a consequence, the tide causes salty water to enter the lake. This provokes the disappearance of many essential species, which are important for the survival of the inhabitants of the lake. The constant rise and fall of the water causes damage in the wood and palm constructions. The population grows uncontrollably, and diphtheria, typhus, and cholera often appear. All of this is dramatically impoverishing the way of life known as African Venice. In the center of the village, there is a statue of Agbodobe holding the keys of the city. The creation of Ganvier is attributed to him. In the 17th century, the Tofinu tribe was obliged to flee from the powerful Fon tribes in order to escape cannibalism and slavery. This exodus brought them to hide in the reservoirs, where the Fon warriors, fearful of water, would not dare to enter.
The most frequent disease on the lakeside area of Ganvier is malaria, especially during this time of year when the waters rise because it invades everything and causes the people to vomit and have diarrhea. The food is not protected properly and the people do not wash their hands well before eating. The people wet their hands where they defecate, where most of the waste is thrown out. Furthermore, they fish in these same waters and they don't wash the fish well before eating. We often find cases of malnutrition, especially in children, because almost all the fish is sold, which leaves almost nothing for them to eat. I will say that in contrary to other countries, where the lack of water is a major problem, here in Ganvier, it is the excess of water that causes problems. The water brings disease, diarrhea, typhoid fever, malaria, and for each home to get water is almost impossible. You see, what God does is not always easily understood. We call this new disease tension. We don't know where it comes from, but it most surely comes from this water. It starts by attacking your feet and hands, and it slowly kills you. There are people who say that this disease comes from the food from terra firma. I'm not sure. But the truth is that we, the women, are affected the most. Blood pressure is the volume of blood circulation in the veins, and it is produced when a person has not moved in a long time. When a person stays in the same place for a long time, he or she lacks activity. Here on the lake there is no terra firma and the people do not do anything. When they don't fish or travel on the water, they remain sitting or laying down. There is therefore a lack of physical exercise, which produces a state of stress that at the same time leads to hypertension.
As the head of this family of fishermen, I have to make these kinds of decisions. We have clearly understood that educating our children in school is good for our people. But it is not always possible. I have sent the younger of my 2 grandchildren to school, but I cannot allow the oldest to go. He has to stay with us and learn the profession of his grandfather and help us with the akaja. The day will come when I won't be able to fish. Who will do it then? Who will collect the fish that feeds us?